All right, and with that, we are ready to hear the first pitch. Let's begin with our first presenter, Mr. David Cho, CEO of Core 16 from Korea. Please come to the stage. All right, welcome, welcome. Now, please note that you will have a 6-minute warning, which sounds like this. And the microphone sound will be turned off after 7 minutes. Now, we will begin your 7-minute pitch, and your time starts right now.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is David Cho, the founder and CEO of Core 16. For more than 25 years, I have worked as an analyst, fund manager, CIO, and CEO, advising more than 20 Korea pension funds. After all that time, I came to one simple realization. Even the smartest investors make the same mistake. They don't know when to sell. And I learned one painful lesson. Markets don't crash slowly. They collapse through event. That's the problem Core 16 was born to solve. We are the only company dedicated to the science of selling. Today, I want to tell you our Eventology. It's a sell timing decision-making engine. Oh, it does work. Yeah. This is a real problem. Investors lose money because they are too slow to act. When crisis hits, at least 1 month for investors recognize the shift. But market don't wait that long. During COVID-19, S&P 500 fell 34% in just 23 trading days. Why? 3 reasons. First, risk systems are lagging. They only react after the damage is done. And second, analysis is fragmented. Macroeconomics, credit issue, corporate event, geopolitical issue, catastrophe, all in separate silos. No one connects them. And third, hesitation. Maybe most fund managers know they should sell, but they cannot quantify when. The cost of indecision is enormous. So we built Eventology. Eventology is a term we coined by combining event and ontology. It's a decision-making engine that structures external and internal market events into meaningful permutations and combinations, and derives a causal relationship. We collect over 100,000 core events, non-news, non-noise, just only events that really cause a real shift in market. And then we built an AI system that works in 4 steps. Number 1, detect. We scan our event database and find the abnormal information flow between events. And number 2, match. We compare what is happening right now against a historical crisis pattern. And number 3, diagnose. We classify the regime shift and the calculate risk level. And number 4, signal. We generate selling timing alert. This is our product, one of our products. We call it Eventology Catcher, dashboard. You can see in the left, the risk alert. Nikkei is in caution mode. Do you believe it? And in the center, you can event clusters and sequences matrix, 20 event sequences times 20 event clusters. And in the right, you can see the global risk level is now at 72, relatively high. This is our real dashboard. You can track, being tracked in daily basis. You can, which event classes is activating. Now, I want to tell you where we are today. We have built a database and filed 11 patents in Korea and in the US. We defined and classified 16 event classes and 58 sub-event classes and 150 event groups. We have our revenue model has 3 streams. 60% comes from SaaS subscriptions. Asset managers, security firms, and pension funds will pay monthly or annually. And 25% from custom project, tailored selling timing, decision intelligence for institutional clients. And 50% is data licensing. Our ontology-based event database is high margin, recurring revenue asset. Our target market is growing and large. As you know, the global ETF market is about $7 trillion US. We focus on Korea and Japan first. Japan alone has 700 billion US, and Korea has 500 asset managers and 60 security firms. Let me tell you why Japan is our priority. 3 reasons. First, NISA. A new NISA program doubled tax-free investment limit. The millions of new retail investors enter the market, but there's no protecting tool. Number 2, institutional demands. Number 3, market timing. The Nikkei hits all-time high, but they don't need protect their gain. Actually, I spent 25 years. I'm looking for Japanese partners to pilot our eventology, and I wanna change fundamentally how investors manage risk. It's my dream. It's my vision. We are Core 16. We don't know when to buy, but we know when to sell. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. David Cho, CEO of Core 16 from Korea, decoding the DNA of events. Now our second presenter is Mr. Daniel Ross, Head of AI Compliance Strategy of Dynamo AI from the USA.
It is an honor to present to everyone here today at this most important event. My name is Daniel Ross, and I'm Head of AI Compliance Strategy at Dynamo AI, where we are in production today with some of the most innovative financial services, manufacturing, and government organizations globally, enabling secure and compliant generative AI.
The stage is yours. You may begin your 7-minute presentation now.
Great. Well, I'm thrilled to present to you all today. My name is Daniel Ross. I'm Head of AI Compliance Strategy at Dynamo AI. Excited to show you how we enable secure and compliant generative AI with some of the most advanced and highly regulated institutions globally. We've had the opportunity to partner with some of the industry's most innovative organizations across financial services, government, and industry. Our leadership engages with global regulators and policies on the identification of AI risk management and AI risk technical controls. And our company, born out of research when our co-founders completed their work at MIT and Harvard to get commercialized, continues to produce groundbreaking innovative research on machine learning techniques and AI risk technology. Here's how we view the world from an AI risk perspective. 3 core focus areas we'll delve into. DynamoEval is all around identification of AI risk upfront, pre-production, security vulnerabilities, compliance vulnerabilities. Dynamo Guard is real runtime guardrails in natural language, and Agent Warden is our complete agentic AI risk management suite. But this is a view of how our customers view our technology. And AI risk technical controls applied across all forms of AI, whether it's embedded AI applications like Microsoft Copilot, or homegrown applications or large versions of ChatGPT, providing an independent and consistent technical control layer. We deploy generally on-premise or in VPC, so data stays within our customer's environment from a secure perspective. Let's walk through 2 quick customer use cases, then I'll dig into the technology. Experian is one of our most advanced customers deploying generative AI globally. And they're doing it in large part with their chatbot EVA, which is a customer-facing chatbot where customers can ask questions around financial information or credit. Because you can imagine the type of regulatory, legal, and challenges that they have to comply with as they're deploying this globally. EVA is guardrailed by Dynamo, where lawyers, risk managers, compliance leaders have created custom rules that have been applied to mitigate risks surrounding the deployment of their EVA chatbot so they can remain compliant. On the other end of the spectrum within government, the US Army is using DynamoEval and Guard to identify security vulnerabilities, adversarial attacks, but more importantly, produce this risk reporting in an easy-to-understand way that a non-technical leader could take and understand that use. And our Dynamo Guard technology is actually deployed on edge devices and hardware, particularly important for entities like the Army that are thinking of deploying AI on edge devices. So let's dive into the products really quickly. DynamoEval is about automated red teaming and stress testing, identifying risk up front. So for example, if you want to understand adversarial vulnerabilities or a custom compliance attack, how likely is it that my model may provide legal or financial advice? And all of this done in an easy-to-use automated risk report. Dynamo Guard is our runtime guardrails created in natural language, including in English and Japanese, customized for very nuanced and enablement of AI. You can see on the screen, there's a number of reasons why you'd require guardrails. For example, if you're concerned about personal information getting into a model, which may be in violation of a certain regulatory act, or you may be concerned about the model providing financial advice in a very specific way, and that is also in violation of an act. Creating these guardrails and having non-technical leaders be able to input them allows you to stay compliant with your regulations. And in fact, what you're doing here is creating very performant small language models developed by Dynamo. We also have a host of out-of-box guardrails across the globe where customers can take them from the get-go and deploy them immediately. What you see on the screen is just a snippet of those from the Asia-Pac region, specifically dealing with cultural and royalty sensitivities across different jurisdictions that can be deployed, which are mapped to best practices. And finally, Agent Warden, our complete agentic AI control suite that allows you to provide full observability over agentic AI deployments, as well as include controls to stop non-sanctioned activities as you're deploying Agent AI. Let's walk through really quickly a product demonstration of Dynamo Guard. So you're first going to see the use of Dynamo in a test chatbot, where it happens in the background, where somebody will engage a model, and a prompt will be either, or an output will either be blocked or flagged. This can happen seamlessly in the background. And then what you're going to see is the easy step creation, in very simple terms, of a way a guardrail or a policy can be created. Where, for example, the definition of financial or legal advice can be added. You can create guardrails for input or output. You can choose to block or flag. And then your team can write their definition and indicate what they view as allowed or maybe prohibited. From there, the model concludes a couple more steps, providing synthetic data for you to see real-world examples of how your guardrail would apply, and then provide active feedback. The synthetic data is really a key to creating a very performant and effective guardrail that organizations can use as artifacts to showcase auditor and regulators around how they align. And then from the creation of the guardrail, you can continue to provide feedback and then move into a full observability suite, observing both the inputs and the outputs of the model and how it works against compliance to continue to monitor and fine-tune against the guardrails. Thank you. I appreciate everybody's time and look forward to connecting with everyone after the session. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. That was Mr. Daniel Ross, Head of AI Compliance Strategy of Dynamo AI from the USA, evaluating and managing AI risk. And now our third presenter is Dr. Natalia Mikhailova, co-founder and director of ESGSAT from Luxembourg.
Volatility is rising across climate and geopolitics. Insurers need forward signals, not rear-view mirrors. Extreme events are up fivefold and accelerating. Yet underwriting still looks backward, opportunity missed. Meet ESGSAT, predictive risk intelligence for carriers. AI plus satellites turn noise into foresight. Carriers realize 25% fewer preventable claims because you act sooner, smarter, with confidence, all within a decisive 72-hour intervention window. This isn't an app. This is institutional-grade risk infrastructure.
All right. Now you may begin your 7-minute pitch.
Konnichiwa. My name is Dr. Natalia Mikhailova, and I would like to present to you our solution. When you think about insurance, you think about age or medical history. But actually, right now, climate risk is one of the leading causes of increases in claims globally. I spent over 20 years as an engineer studying this problem and also realizing that risk management right now is broken. The global insurance industry is growing at significant pace. There is over 100 billion climate-related risks that are currently under insurance claims, and it's a risk that we are all facing. We are facing this as a community, as financial institution, as also in the government. So why are current solutions failing? There is different weather applications available and weather models, but these models are not directly linked to the insurance costs and risks. And they are not directly usable and predictive. There is also catastrophic models that are available, but they are not sufficiently high grade in terms of ability to analyze the risk, and also they ignore people in motion and people factor as well. There is also different apps available for the travel insurance, for example, that protect people, but they are not significantly useful when you are trying to prevent things. They are only useful when their cases already happen. In Japan, this is a especially interesting issue because right now there is a lot of interest and increased use of travel insurance in Japanese societies, and also there is increased risk that we are facing globally due to climate-related events, both in Japan and for Japanese travelers globally. We are also seeing that using a solution that enables better access to data is very interesting to both insurance and the users of this insurance. We have a unique advantage at ESGSAT where we combine satellite Earth observation data that is 100 times accuracy than existing available models. We offer geospatial mobility, so we not only track climate or environment, but we track how people are traveling, how people are experiencing those issues, and we use this in our models. And we also build AI predictive models, not just tracking, but also predicting and forecasting into the future, and behavioral nudging for people to stay safe. There is several unique steps in our solution that is accomplished all within a short time that is able to ingest high-quality data, provide predictive analysis and dynamic scoring of risks using this continuous information, and also generate active alerts that is able to be useful to insurers as well as people who are using the insurance. And we have a unique actuarial loop, which is our unique IP that is built into these models. So we go from the reimbursement to risk management at scale. Our first initial product called Snowbird Plus enables this insurance to be provided to travelers, especially senior travelers, which is our initial focus target market, which I think is especially attractive here in Japan as well. We are offering a number of different indicators of risk, not just climate, but also related to social unrest, which is another big issue for the insurers, and also changes in the travel policies and things like flight delays. This is a huge opportunity right now for us to take action on these issues, which is one of the biggest costs for the insurance companies. What makes us unique is also how we use the data. We combine several different sources of data, over 5 satellite Earth observation constellations that allows us to increase the accuracy of this information. We also use the data to create behavioral loops for our customers, which allows the insurance companies to reduce the risk actively. What this results is over 20 customers who are signing up to use our product globally in Europe, in North America, and also in Asia. We are also getting high interest in Japan as well. Right now, this results in our customers over 7% reducing in risks of their insurance claims, and also increase in coverage and integrating of ESG into their reporting as well. We are embedding climate intelligence into our product and into our customers' ability to analyze the risk and ability to prevent these risks. We are already having several organizations in Japan who are insurance companies who are interested in onboarding the product, and we have very attractive proposals for some of the partners of FINOLAB, such as MasterCard, Seven Bank, and others. Why Japan is a global launchpad for us? We see increased interest in our product because of changing in demographics, interest in keeping the safe. We are very inspired by Asian policy and the vision of Japan with the preventative and safety mindset. And we also see a lot of opportunity to integrate our product into different segments of Japanese societies in terms of reducing risk, not just for the insurance industry, but for the real estate industry, for the infrastructure and smart cities application. And we already have ongoing plans for that. We have unique ability to do this because of our architecture. We have proprietary model, we have integration with different insurance products, and we have the scalability of our data to make impact globally. Our defensible advantage is the unique solution that we have built into our product, which is the actuarial loop. This allows us to create analysis that enables our customers to not only monitor, but to predict, prevent, and to manage those risks in a proactive way. And that's why we already have significant growth in our customer base at over 300% on the annual basis. So to summarize, our vision is to be able to transform climate chaos into strategic advantage. We have already seen the insurance industry and the financial industry change with applications and digitized payments. But what we would like to do is to digitize risks. We're building risk infrastructure that can be embedded into many financial products. And we need your help to make this happen. We look forward to partnering with you, whether you are in insurance, in finance or banking industry. And we look forward to build safe society together. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you. That was Dr. Natalia Mikhailova, co-founder and director of ESGSAT from Luxembourg, Climate Intelligence and Risk Management for the Insurance Industry. Now our fourth presenter is Ms. Fin Rujikiat-Kamjorn, co-founder and chief operating officer of Flowen from Thailand.
Debt management is broken, complex, and costly. Old rules fail because they miss human behavior. Enter Flowen, the behavioral AI platform. Learning behaviors, maximizing recovery. Built for financial institutions.
All right, you may begin your 7-minute presentation right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Fin from Flowen. So today, most institutions manage millions of borrowers with call centers, one-size-fits-all scripts, and basic metrics like days past due, despite the fact that no two borrowers behave the same. So what happens? Costs go up, recovery goes down, compliance risk increases, and borrowers end up with a poor experience. Now, zoom out for a moment. In APAC alone, household debt exceeds $20 trillion and hundreds of millions sit in NPL. Yet collections are still stuck with tools from the past. This isn't just about poor execution. It's a structural problem in the financial system and a big opportunity to rethink collections. That's where Flowen comes in. Flowen is a behavioral AI platform that automates and improves debt recovery by learning how people actually pay. So instead of treating all borrowers the same, Flowen understands behavior. We analyze patterns, we assess repayment intent, and we shape a personalized recovery strategy for each borrower, so engagement feels timely, relevant, and far more effective. The impact for financial institutions is clear. Lower collection costs, higher repayment engagement, and compliance becomes more consistent even at scale. Now let me give you a simple example. Most people don't like receiving collection calls in the morning. I mean, before coffee, before work, before life has even started. Now imagine someone who never answers calls at 9 a.m., but almost always picks up around 2 p.m. Flowen learns that. So instead of calling at the worst possible time every day, the system waits and calls at 2 p.m. when that person is actually willing to talk. It sounds simple, but it changes everything. Now, let me ask you, how many of you in here don't ignore unknown phone calls? I do. If someone calls me, I won't pick up. But send me a message or a notification, I'll read it and pay immediately. Now, how many of you are the opposite, that don't mind the unknown phone calls? Because I have a colleague who ignores notifications. She forgets emails. But a simple voice call, maybe 2 or 3, and she pays right away. Can you relate to either one of us? Same ability to pay, different behavior. That's why Flowen adapts. Choosing the right channel and timing for each person, so recovery improves by matching how people actually pay. So how does our engine work? At a high level, Flowen thinks before it acts. We analyze borrower data and behavioral signals to understand intent and risk, then determine the next best action. We, Flowen, operate at a decision layer, meaning improving the decision, not just automating the outreach. And based on that intelligence, the system evaluates whether we should engage at all, which channel to use, when to reach out, and how the message should be delivered. So instead of static rules, sometimes it means starting digitally like SMS, WhatsApp, or Line. In other cases, it means calling first. The approach depends entirely on the borrower's behavior. And when needed, the system escalates to a human collector, only when that intervention adds real value. Every response, whether it's a payment, promise to pay, even silence, flows back into the system. So instead of static rules, Flowen continuously refines its decisions. It doesn't just run collections, it improves them. So the next question, now naturally, you might be wondering, does this actually work in the real world? Yes, it does. We validated Flowen across more than 50,000 debtor profiles in live portfolios, and the results were clear. Engagement up by 30%, repayment-related actions increased 2 to 3 times in targeted segments, and recovery rates rose 3 to 4 percentage points, and collection costs dropped by up to 50%. But what matters most isn't just the percentages. Collection doesn't need more pressure, it needs better decisions. And that's the shift we're creating. So the next question is, how do we scale this? Our approach is focused. We begin with banks and financial institutions in Thailand, particularly in retail lending and credit cards. From there, we scale across APAC region, and our long-term goal is clear. It is to establish Flowen as a global behavioral intelligence layer for collections. And to execute this, you need more than just the technology, and that's the team behind Flowen. We bring together experience across banking, digital transformation, and operational execution at scale. So to close, debt collection doesn't need to be aggressive, manual, or inefficient. When decisions are driven by real behavioral data, you recover more, you spend less, and you treat borrowers better. And Flowen makes that possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Ms. Fin Rujikiatkamjorn, co-founder and chief operating officer of Flowen from Thailand, behavioral AI that learns how people pay. Now our fifth presenter is Mr. David B. Wang, Global Head of Loyalty Partnerships and GM of North Asia of HeyMax from Singapore.
Konnichiwa. My name is David. I'm the Global Head of Loyalty Partnerships and General Manager of North Asia at HeyMax. HeyMax is a Singapore-based platform that helps users earn miles on their everyday spending. And already we're partnered with Japan Railway East as well as TakeMe to help Japanese companies bring visitors into Japan and to help them earn miles. So are you ready for your next free travel? Arigatou.
All right, you may begin your 7-minute pitch right now.
Konnichiwa. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David. I'm the Global Head of Loyalty Partnerships and the General Manager of North Asia for HeyMax. So HeyMax is a Singapore-based loyalty platform that helps customers earn miles on their everyday spending. And our vision as a company is to help consumers maximize and automate their engagement with businesses in the AI-native era. So as we take the first principle thinking of why consumers want to engage with business in the first place, consumers like you and I, we want maximum rewards with very little effort, while businesses want maximum revenue also with least amount of spending. But with the advancement of internet over the last 10, 20, 30 years, there's now a barrier that sits between consumers and businesses. Usually you see that through social media, search engine optimization channels, etc. And this layer has taken some of the funding from merchants and put that into that layer so that consumers don't have direct access to information, right? Then that's where advertising kind of sits in. And when we think about how AI can transform this relationship, we see the accessibility to information being transformational to break down this barrier to help consumers engage with businesses more directly. But to do that, we believe there needs to be a new AI protocol for this AI era. And we think HeyMax is the layer of incentive that can make that relationship much more dynamic. So HeyMax has grown to over 150,000 users across Asia by rewarding miles on daily spending. So we work with over 800 retail brands across the region where they offer commissions for every transaction that we bring to them. And we convert those commissions into miles we call max miles that we reward back to the customer. And so as a customer makes repeat purchases through our platform with all of these brands, they're earning a single unified reward currency called Max Miles. And Max Miles has turned into quite a powerful loyalty currency. It's delivered high-intent users who spend a lot and engage a lot. We've driven over $200 million in GMV and issued more than 300 million Max Miles. This is a currency that works. This currency gets people to spend and keep coming back. And the reason they love this is because we have built the most comprehensive travel reward currency in Asia, bar none. You can transfer Max Miles one-to-one into 30-plus airline hotel loyalty programs like Cathay Pacific, Qatar Airways, IHG, Accor Hotels. We just launched with Shangri-La. And we charge no fees, and our miles don't expire. You can also redeem Max Miles for any flights you booked. So you can literally buy a ticket and get your money reimbursed using Max Miles. You can also redeem Max Miles for vouchers with some of our retail brand partners as well. But what's really exciting now is that Max Miles is now starting to get adopted by more and more businesses as well, who's recognized the value that Max Miles delivers in this open loyalty ecosystem. They're joining this game, right? And so companies are adopting our Max Miles as a loyalty solution for them to engage and attract higher quality customers. So Chocolate Finance is a fintech player in Singapore that issued a Visa debit card, and that card offers Max Miles as a default reward currency. So now as a HeyMax user, you can actually earn Max Miles offline with this Visa debit card. And we've driven over $20 million in transaction volume just in the first 2 months alone. And we've carried that forward into Hong Kong, where we just launched a few months ago with Octopus, the biggest payment company in Hong Kong, who adopted Max Miles to drive people to spend more. And this is the first time in Octopus's decorated history to ever offer a travel reward. Think about that. But beyond fintech payments, we recognize that we are a very travel-centric company, and so we're starting to work a lot with travel stakeholders as well. So at this very moment, we actually have a campaign with the Hong Kong Tourism Board to use MaxMiles to incentivize people to travel and visit Hong Kong. And this is very interesting for Japan, actually, because we see a huge potential for us to work with prefectures to attract people with MaxMiles to visit these other places, right, whilst everyone's kind of going to Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto. So I think this is very exciting. But really coming back to our whole core principle of helping users maximize rewards with very little effort, we're here actually to help you maximize your spending. So we've partnered with Visa so that when you link your Visa credit card with HeyMax, we can help you track your spending, and using a whole host of different AI technologies now and in the future, help you optimize your reward earning and to make sure you're making the most out of your daily spending and earning the max miles or your credit card points the best way possible. And this partnership has allowed us to work in some very creative ways with businesses. And in Japan, it's allowed us to partner with Japan Railway East and TakeMe. So right now, when you link up your Visa card with us, you're able to earn max miles when you're spending across JRE and TakeMe's retail ecosystem. That means when you're topping up your Suica, you're buying your snacks at New Days, staying at JR Hotel, or booking a restaurant on TakeMe, you are earning max miles. And for JRE and TakeMe, this is a fantastic way for them to engage, acquire travelers who are coming to Japan to visit. They're attracting them not just in terms of spending, but also bringing that awareness to them that, for example, JRE is not just a train company, right? And most importantly, what our value is to these Japanese businesses is getting them more access to data. We can help them understand the visitors who are coming to Japan and engaging with their businesses. And so this is really exciting, and this is what we're really keen to explore with Japanese partners. And thinking about kind of the business side of things, what kind of market we're operating, there's a lot of numbers here, but the one I want to sort of point you to is the $240 billion in ad spend in Asia Pacific alone. That's the investment that's being put into that middle layer between consumers and businesses. And so as that wall gets dissipated away with AI, that's the amount of investment that we can repurpose to give it back to the customers, right? To use MaxMiles to incentivize users to spend more and engage with businesses. So we think this is very exciting. And because we operate a miles program, we also benefit from cash flow positive since launch. We have a negative working capital cycle because people kind of take their time to accrue miles and then to redeem. And with our user obsession, community-driven focus, we've been able to achieve 6 million plus in annual recurring revenue as of first half of last year. And we're very proud to announce that we just closed our Series A that will allow us to expand into more markets across Asia. And of course, Japan is a very, very meaningful market for us. Domo arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. David B. Wong, Global Head of Loyalty Partnerships and GM of North Asia of HeyMax from Singapore, rewarding miles on daily spend. Now our sixth presenter is Ms. Jo-Shin Lee, Innovation and Technology Product Manager of HiTRUST Partnership Limited from Taiwan and Singapore.
Hello everyone, I'm Joy from HiTRUST. Everyday financial institution find out. At HiTRUST, we make the invisible fraud network visible. We combine device intelligence, AI risk scoring, and passwordless authentication. We don't just detect fraud, we redesign the security environment. Our team is honored to be here for FINOPITCH Japan. We're excited to begin our journey in this market.
All right, you may begin your 7-minute pitch right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to start with the hard truth. Fraud nowadays is no longer a single attack. It has become a network problem. I'm Roshan from HiTRUST. Look at this number in Japan. 1 to 2 million phishing cases in just half a year. This is a 2,000% growth since 2019. And traditional fraud, anti-fraud approaches focus on silos. They look at the account layer base that could include account history and transaction patterns and credential status. However, for fraudster, they use one device to try on hundreds of accounts. If you block one, they just simply try another. So there is a visibility gap. Accounts are visible, but devices are not. When bank sees account, they cannot see the device controlling the account. And here's a question. How do you secure what you cannot see? So here's when Veri-id steps in. What makes us different than other detection systems is about device intelligence. When the user lands on your platform and we start to analyze and also identification the device signal behind the scene. And this can include hardware, operating system, browser, IP address, and even bot detection. This will tell you how the device is handling it look like. For example, if the device is emulator or not, or the device is connected to VPN, proxy, or even the device is run on the cloud server or virtual machine. Next, our AI model can analyze how this signal behave together. More importantly, the AI model not only provides the risk score for every interaction, but also the reason behind it, so it's explainable. We can tell you whether one device is linking to too many accounts, which is unusual, or the device IP address is switching too fast, even across countries, or the device configuration is different than past behavior. Like one user, they use English as its preferred language, however, suddenly it changed to Arabic to make a transaction. Before Veri-id, the fraud case and also the fraud account seems isolated. They are unrelated. However, after Veri-id, we see the device connection become visible. And our customer can reduce 43% fraud after implementation. As for the investigation time, it comes down from 4 days to 2 hours. But let's be honest, detection alone is never enough. If you spot at one person with suspicious activities, but still use old ways like OTP to verify them, the OTP can still fail you. This can be like social engineering, credential thief, or OTP hijacking. So we need to have a more secure way to authenticate the user, because as long as password and OTP is 6, the phishing will persist. And here's Veri-FIDO. Veri-FIDO is built based on passkey structure, so there will be biometric, for example, like Face ID or Touch ID, plus cryptographic key pair, which means private key and public key. So for the user side, there will be no password, no OTP. Even if the user accidentally clicks on the phishing link, the phishing site cannot use the credential. So there will be no information for the fraudster to steal. And we combine together detection along with authentication. This is a total solution for financial institutions to strike the balance between user experience and security. And why is it critical for Japan? Japan market is combined with 3 factors: rapid digital adoption, an aging population which is vulnerable to phishing and threats, and also high expectation from public for the institution to protect them. And Japan nowadays is facing challenges like the crime group Tokuru. They use organized phishing tools to conduct crime. They are anonymous, their identity are changing, so it's not enough for financial institution to block only one account to stop them. You need to see the entire fraud network behind the scene. With 12,000 arrests last year, the pressure on financial institutions to protect every transaction, every user is higher than ever. At HiTRUST, we are already a global player. We protect over 10,000 e-commerce merchants and more than 220 banks across Asia Pacific and Europe. So we understand the challenge financial institutions are facing, and also we are ready for the most regulated environment. In Japan, trust is everything. With Veri-id, you can see the fraud behind the scene, and also with FIDO, you can say goodbye to phishing. Together, we help financial institutions to strike the balance between user experience and security, and also secure the digital trust in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Ms. Jo-Shin Lee, Innovation and Technology Product Manager of HiTRUST Partnership Limited from Taiwan and Singapore, making the fraud network visible. Now our seventh presenter is Mr. Adish Rakecha, founder and CEO of Shizen Incorporated from the USA.
Powerful forces move economies and financial markets, driving the value of our investments, our pensions, our savings, transforming businesses, communities, and livelihoods, shaping all of our lives everywhere.
All right, you may begin your 7-minute pitch right now.
Rapidly evolving technology, volatile geopolitical landscape, and relentless climate change, they are interconnected. The infrastructure for capital allocation was not built for this. In 2008, financial crisis wiped out $10 trillion from the global economy. COVID disrupted $14 trillion. What's converging now are all forces together, putting at risk 1/5 of the global GDP at risk. For Japan, with $4 trillion deployed across global markets, all of these forces land here, on your pensions, on your balance sheets, on your investments. The CEO of a top 3 global reinsurer, head of investment at a sovereign fund, and chairman of a top 3 US bank, they've all told us the same thing. We need this problem solved. Minasan konnichiwa. I'm Adish. I'm the founder and CEO of Shizen. For 700 years, the art performed on this stage has been guided by a principle called Yugen, the profound beauty of what is deeply felt, but cannot be directly seen. Finance has its own Yugen. Forces felt in every balance sheet, every portfolio, every economy, but no model sees them. So what's happening inside institutions trying to solve this problem? Climate is separate from fundamentals, disconnected from risk models. CIOs get reports, not signals. Fragmented solutions, $500,000 spent and 3/4 of time invested, only to begin. That's the gap. The capability to model systemic forces in investment decisions does not exist. When we sit with teams at these institutions, what they ask for is completely different from what exists today. They do not want another report. They want to know how a drought in Brazil or a climate event in Southeast Asia or the US reprices their portfolio. How a policy shift in Brussels changes their factor exposure. That is what we have built. We make systemic risk investable. And this is what it looks like. Forward-looking and a unified platform. Our team comes from Wall Street, risk, research, quant, and engineering. We built Shizen to give those same teams at your institutions the infrastructure to make effective and precise decisions. We've built this. What powers this is built for institutional grade decisions. Shizen is AI native infrastructure where your teams can build their own models, run their own scenarios, and are always in full control. In Japanese, Shizen means naturalness. Not just nature, not just humans, not just the economy. The harmony between them all. If you are to remember 3 things about Shizen today, we are infrastructure. Shizen lives inside your investment models where decisions are actually made. Shizen is forward-looking. We model how systemic forces compound and where they are heading, because that's what matters for investment decisions. Shizen runs on domain-specialized AI that is unbiased and adaptive. Your teams are always in full control at every decision, and your data never leaves your firm. We are actively engaged with financial institutions across the US, UK, and Switzerland. With a combined AUM of $15 trillion, the market we are building for is over $50 billion a year and is growing 20% year on year. Shizen exists because of the team with a shared purpose: to build the future of finance. Our team has shaped and architected policy for global capital allocation and international trade at the highest levels of Swiss government, built data infrastructure for financial institutions they run on, managed credit risk and climate strategy at JP Morgan. I worked in equity research and also built digital products for small and medium businesses in Japan and the US. We are backed by some of the most important institutions in the world and have been recognized globally. Japan is navigating all these global forces at once. No country has more at stake, and no country's institutions are more ready for what we have built. We came here to build with Japanese institutions for Japanese capital markets. We're looking for pilot partners, asset managers, banks, pension funds, insurers. We're looking for strategic partners to build here in Japan, and investors who understand that systemic risk infrastructure is not optional, it is inevitable. In No, the Hashikagari Bridge connects the invisible world to the visible. Shizen is that bridge, and we are ready to build it with you.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Adish Rakecha, founder and CEO of Shizen Incorporated from the USA, infrastructure making systemic risk investable. Now our last overseas company is TRADERPAL. The presenter is Mr. Adolfo Diaz, Chief Financial Officer of TRADERPAL from the USA.
Imagine if your business could offer access to over 11,000 U.S. stocks, ETFs, and tokenized assets. Experience the benefits of higher transaction revenue, lower customer churn, and a high-margin operation launched in a record time to market under 3 weeks instead of years, and without spending millions. TRADERPAL Connect, the AI-driven investment infrastructure powering it all.
All right, you may begin your 7-minute pitch right now.
Today, TRADERPAL leverages artificial intelligence to transform the global investment industry. Our mission is simple: to democratize wealth creation. And our next step is to bridge the Japanese market with the rest of the world. Although we identify one problem with this, and that is that the few financial institutions are offering access to the US market. Why is this a problem? Well, simply put, the US market is the most attractive market, accounting for around 65% of global trading volume. Foreign investors currently are holding over $17 trillion of US assets. And what does this imply about a financial institution, name it a bank, an exchange, a fintech that is currently not offering this product? Well, let's put a number to it. Last year alone, there were $650 billion that foreign investors allocated to US stocks, which means your financial institution did not capture $650 billion just because they didn't offer this product. And if they did, they will have experienced the benefits of higher transactional volume, higher transactional revenue, greater AUM, more deposits, and so forth. On the flip side, if they don't, they increase their client churn risk by up to 35%, because now you have clients that they want to buy a specific asset, but you don't offer it. So they go to an alternative, to a competitor that does offer this product. So why doesn't every financial institution already offer this? So we identify a couple of problems. And the thing is that there is a whole capital market infrastructure required to offer US equities. And that involves clearing and custody settlement, DTC settlement, T+1 reconciliation, OMS plus and fixed integration, Reg NMS reconciliation, routing, account balances. I can go on and on. Bottom line, it's too complex. It takes a lot of capital requirement in order to be able to offer this, and multi-year build timelines. So we identify a problem and we created the #1 solution, which is the B2B investment infrastructure of TRADERPAL Connect. This is a white label solution, investment solution that allows all financial institutions to easily and seamlessly integrate US stocks and ETF and provide them to their clients. So we did all the heavy lifting beforehand and mitigate the risk of engineering complexity, the capital requirement, and the multi-year timelines. This is a plug-and-play solution, a one-stop shop where you can offer now through TRADERPAL Connect over 11,000 US stocks and ETF, plus all the related products and services regarding these offerings, such as payment processor, peer-to-peer transfers, UI UX development to tropicalize to your brand, the end-to-end API integration, and this will not take a multi-year timeline, but instead, we can deliver it in under 3 weeks. Moreover, we have AI trading systems that allow a smarter investing experience for the user, where based on the risk level, they can build and rebalance portfolios, do company analysis, and in-depth investment research. At the end of this presentation, we have a little demo that you can see to showcase this AI trading. So how does it work? We connect the NASDAQ and NYC markets through Alpaca, which is our global partner. And TRADERPAL Connect, its white label solution, connects to the ecosystem of banks, exchanges, and fintechs. So these institutions can now offer over 11,000 stocks and ETF to their end user. And the solution #2, we developed what it is a tokenization marketplace. Through this, what we did is that we connected global tokenization firms to a single platform where we can aggregate all the assets, tokenized asset opportunities, and these same asset opportunities can be connected to the ecosystem of banks, exchanges, fintechs, so they can offer all the vast array of tokenized assets to their end users. Also, we offer what is the tokenized stocks, which is becoming every time more and more relevant. And this is what I really want us to focus on. This is what we really care about. And let's take a moment to take this inside. So, through TRADERPAL Connect, we got the tokenized assets of America, of Europe, and through TRADERPAL Connect, they can now sell them to Japan, and vice versa. The tokenized assets from Japan can now be sold to Europe and America. And by this way, we create a more symbiotic and connected ecosystem. So why now? Global financial institutions are adopting more tokenization. US stocks and ETF appetite has become very, very relevant, and they want more and more. Regulation is finally shifting towards tokenized assets and digital infrastructure. And to say the least, we got a big market size. So the tokenization marketplace is set to be by 2030, $16 trillion. The B2B investment infrastructure, that we're talking about 17 trillion of holdings of foreign investors of US assets. So if we break it down, that's a total of $33 trillion market size. The platform take for it will be $7.23 billion of annualized revenue, and specifically talking about the LATAM and Asia market, that will be the equivalent of a $2.8 billion opportunity of annualized revenue. Moving forward, I want to show you the demo of our AI trading system.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Adolfo Diaz, Chief Financial Officer of TRADERPAL from the USA, offering access to the world's markets.